Hi, this is James Tanner, and I'm here with another in the Exploring Genealogy series. This is number 10, and you can find this series on my YouTube channel under James Tanner. You look for James Tanner channel, you'll find a number of people with my name, and choose the one with my photo and takes you right to my channel. Otherwise, you will find links to my channel on my blog posts. Today I'm going to be talking about MyHeritage.com. There are some new developments on the program and I will highlight those. But this particular episode is an introduction to the program, an overview of how it works and what you can see and do with the program. In future episodes, I will be happy to provide more in-depth views of the program itself. And by the way, I intend to do the same kinds of overviews of many of the online programs that genealogists might be interested in using. MyHeritage is quite a very impressive program. It has a lot of features. Just a quick check. If you scroll down to the bottom of the page through all of the suggested options for you and click on the About Us link, you'll find a lot of information about the company itself. If you're not familiar with MyHeritage and want to learn about it, this is a good place to start. Going to the bottom of the page, and I'm scrolling up looking at the information on their website. Focus on this. There are about 102 million users according to the program, but according to a blog post that I just received today, there are about 105 million. The number of people on this website is rapidly climbing. There are about 3.4 billion profiles. Profiles are the individual entries into the family trees on the program, and backing up the information on myheritage.com, there are 9.6 billion historical records. I'll show you where you can look at all those. And there are 45 million family trees, number of employees, 420, and 1.7 million profiles added every day. So that these numbers change constantly, including the number of historical records and other items. There are 9 acquisitions so far. That means they have purchased 9 different companies. One thing that's important about MyHeritage is that all of the information on the program, except for obtaining a DNA test or a DNA health test, which is the new function, are included in the price of the full program. There is a free version. A free version allows you to enter a certain number of names, and I will go back to the program itself and go up here to jump over to the price list for MyHeritage. This is the current price list, and there probably are some discount programs coming up this year or during the next time period, particularly in conjunction with large genealogical conferences such as RootsTech. You can see from this current list that the first year is $99, then $129. It gives you up to 2,500 people. And Premium Plus is $209 a year and $159 in the first year, and it's unlimited. Includes smart matches, DNA features, instant discoveries, and tree consistency. Historical records is added with the data function of the program, and that includes 9.7 billion historical records and record matches, and the ability to save records to your tree. The complete version, which is everything listed, is $299 a year, and the first year it's $209. That's about consistent with the other programs online, large genealogical programs. There are always some comments back from genealogists about the costs of getting into these programs, but over the years, I have found that the information provided in the vast number of records of each of these programs is well worth the investment. If you are a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, you do get the complete package included with the Family Search Partner Program, and you can investigate that by going to familysearch.org. Okay, well, let's go back to the program itself and get to, for me to log in and choose my website. Oh, wrong one. I've got to go to my link here and go to the one that I'm using currently. A couple of things that you need to know. First of all, the sign-in page here contains a lot of information. There's a few things you need to focus on. One is your family tree. If you are signing into MyHeritage for the first time, you will be asked if you wish to enter a family tree. You can do that by entering names and responding to a short series of questions about your parents and your grandparents from MyHeritage that will help you get started with a family tree. If you are once again, if you're a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, with your partnership access, you can, there is currently an option to add in 8 generations of your family portion of the family tree from Family Search. That's different. That will be in a different episode of this particular presentation. When you are at the startup page, there are a number of options, one of which you want to start with is looking at your family tree. If you have already entered information, you can do so. The standard view of the family tree on MyHeritage is a line tree diagram, and has a lot of information, most of it about, originally at the bottom of the page, about living people. But on the other hand, it's a little bit difficult to navigate for those of us who are more familiar with the pedigree. So you can also start with a pedigree view. That's a lot more familiar to the traditional, those of us in the traditional genealogical background. By the way, most of the people on MyHeritage, just as with the other online programs, are probably not experienced genealogists, and so they will be most familiar with the line type of genealogical chart. One thing you'll notice here is that there is an awful lot of information on this particular form of the program. This file that I'm working with is one that does synchronize with Family Search, and it has 3,588 people and shows 61 of them on this particular screen. So there's a lot of information here. You might notice the little brown dots all over. These are record matches. That means that in every case where there's a brown dot, and you'll see almost everyone on this screen has a brown dot, Family Search has record matches for those people. You can spend a considerable amount of time trying to catch up with your record matches. I'm going to go back to the home screen now for a second and show some things that you might want to look at. I'm going to zoom in here so that you can see that there are two categories of records that give you information. One are record matches, which show you links to historical collections. MyHeritage uses what's called super search, an extremely accurate search engine that will search each of the people in your family tree and suggest record hints or record matches that match them to records. And then there are also smart matches. These are matches that link you to other people who have people in common in your, or ancestors in common with your family, particular family tree here on MyHeritage. In a little bit different than what happens with your experience on Family Search. If you have a FamilySearch.org family tree, a portion of the family tree, what you will find is that MyHeritage is your own family tree, and no one else has access to it unless you give them permission to be an editor or manager of your family tree on MyHeritage. So you can pretty well limit what kinds of changes occur here. You might think that this number of record matches is a little overwhelming, and I would agree with that. There is lots of information here. However, I focus on my research goals and what I'm looking for, and so I just let these accumulate. And if I do feel inclined to do so, such as in some instances right now, for example, I'm looking at newspaper articles, which are very interesting and valuable resources and not available particularly from other websites directly without additional subscriptions. And here, if I look at the record matches that I have presently available on MyHeritage, you can see they are here by category, and I have Chronicling America, 415 matches, and Utah newspapers, 294 matches. And if I scroll down through here, you will see other similar kinds of record sources that are extremely valuable and interesting to me as a genealogist and provide substantial amounts of information. Here's Massachusetts newspaper, 1704 to 1794, and I have 22 matches in that. I have, there's many other locations here. Australian newspapers with 13 matches. Not surprising, since I do have relatives who live in Australia. I could keep going down the list. Going back to the home page, if we look at the smart matches, these are the ones that come from other family trees. We see that there are 30 matches with one person so far, and that's all to the same person, which is interesting. I'm not, I don't rely heavily on those matches. So I'm more interested in the records right now. There are some other things here that are available. You could import a GEDCOM file if you have one. I would be cautious in doing this because your information in your GEDCOM file may not be as accurate as you would like to find that it could be. And you can also find in this list of Family Search that you can get the consistency checker. Now, some of these things, as I mentioned initially, are only available at certain levels of subscription. So I would, and I am going to be talking from the complete subscription level. So I would suggest that you may want to look at the value of some of these things. In my own family tree here on MyHeritage, and it really is my own family tree, I have, if I let this run, I'm at 12% complete on consistency, up to 24. should be able to find this rather quickly. But you'll notice the number going up here, and what this means is that I will be finding hundreds of inconsistencies and problems with my family tree that I have imported directly over from FamilySearch.org. And so these inconsistencies and problems all exist in FamilySearch.org, not just here in my Family Search, in my tree here on MyHeritage. 73% complete. I'm up to 550 consistency issues. Let's see how many it ends up getting to by the time I get to the end of this. 85% complete. I'm at 646. Usually something over 700, but we'll see if it's gone up in the last few days. 765 is the total for today. It could take me quite a while to correct all these, and you'd be correct, that is going to take me a great deal of time. However, you can see that there are many things. Parents too young when having a child, parents too old when having a child, first fact occurring after death, a lot of different specific things that we might be concerned about if we're working with a family search, family tree part, and also if we're thinking that our own particular information is pretty correct and accurate, you may very well find out that you still have a lot of work to do to even get your first few generations straightened out. A couple of the things I'll point out at the moment, but it'll come back in other segments that talk about this, about MyHeritage, are the discoveries. These are instant discoveries. You have matches by people, and they will give you more information. And you have matches by, you can look at the record matches by individual. So if I go to the record matches and look at the individuals in the record matches, I can sort by the number of matches or by the collection name. And then when I look at an individual match, like Chronicling America here, then I have a list of all the people that are in that particular match, and they can be sorted by first name or last name or relationship. So depending on how you want to approach adding this information and looking at what is found here. Just a few seconds here, I want to show you an overview of the DNA, mentioning that DNA is a cost. They do give you an ethnicity estimate, but the tools here that I will explore in subsequent segments of this presentation of here on the Exploring Genealogy series will be more extensive about these products. And the health, this was introduced just today, and there is a price for obtaining that, of course. The last thing I want to show today is the research section here. This number here indicates how many records there are presently on the program. These are completely indexed and completely searchable, and I would suggest that you allow MyHeritage to search these records, because they do a much more complete and thorough job than you could ever imagine doing yourself. You have 9.7 billion plus records here on the program that are being searched constantly for your ancestors. And I'll explore these records in more detail in a subsequent segment. Well, thank you for watching. Appreciate the opportunity to help you and to talk about some of the things that are available for in exploring the genealogy resources that there are out there in the world. And this concludes another Exploring Genealogy series segment, and thanks for watching. And remember, if you would like to do so, please click on the subscribe button and subscribe. That helps us get some visibility here in YouTube.